I very much think Iraq, have done everything they needed to do. I am still hearing July is very much still in play. U.S. delegation confirms to Finance Minister. We are ready to support Iraq in achieving economic development. A high-ranking security delegation arrives in Washington to hold a round of talks to end the coalition's mission. What we know for a fact from folks on both the U.S. side and the Iraqi side is that there are very top-secret meetings occurring right now in Washington, D.C. with Iraqi folks about the removal of U.S. troops and security units in Iraq. This is one of the key things we were told to watch, and it is occurring right now in D.C. Is Chase, Wells Fargo, or any bank going to exchange your dinars into dollars? Ain't no bank going to exchange your dinars into dollars. Ain't no bank got that kind of money. Chase will introduce you to J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan is going to take your dinars and they're going to send them to the U.S. Treasury. They're going to give you the equivalent of what you should receive in American dollars into your account. You don't want to pay rent, you don't want to pay mortgage, house note, new car, sports car, insurance, vacations, all of those things that we all want to do once we come into money. No, 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 no. Keep working, you invest your initial profit. When the investments create income for you, then you go and do all those wonderful things. The budget is not posted in the Gazette. The budget hasn't been implemented because it's unconstitutional. I am hearing the only reason the RV did not go over the weekend was fights over the value of some old German bonds. But things are now unstuck, and seems to be moving much quicker now that the current administration is no longer delaying things. They are too preoccupied to keep slowing and stopping things right now. The World Trade Organization usually intervenes in the exchange rate policy when the concerned country deliberately keeps the value of its local currency low in order to improve the competitiveness of local production and encourage exports at the expense of foreign goods. Wow. The WTO does usually interfere in the exchange rate policy. The World Trade Organization opens its doors to it. The Iraqi economy returns strongly to international competition. Quote, the World Trade Organization has accelerated Iraq's steps to join it, following the resumption of negotiations that had been suspended for more than 16 years. The Iraqi delegation is preparing for the next round of negotiations that are expected to resolve this issue, which will open up global trade horizons for Iraq and return it to strong economic competition, in the region and the world, under a multilateral economic system. Yes, you drop to add value inside of your country. They wanted to be at least 1-to-1 with the American dollar in order to add this value to your currency. That's why he means that dropping the zeros won't add value to your currency. Then your currency will float on the international market and the value of your currency goes up outside your country as well. Inside, it will go from 1320 to at least 1 American dollar in order to add value, which is purchasing power. If it was a lop, they would be adding zeros. Shafaq News, member of the Parliamentary Finance Committee, Mustafa Sand, pointed out, on Tuesday, violations in the allocations of the Office of Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani within the 2024 budget tables. Sand told Shafaq News Agency, we noticed that the allocations for the Prime Minister's office have more than one aspect. The first aspect is the increase in allocations and the transfer of allocations in other sections for the purpose of reducing the form in front of the tables, especially the funds, the development fund, and others. The second violation, according to Sand, is in spending, especially in the emergency budget, adding, we have a report from the Financial Control Bureau that proves about 80% of the violations in the mechanisms for spending the emergency budget. Sand criticized spending 3 billion dinars on renovating the guest house, pointing out that the allocations for the Red Crescent, camps and some projects have a political and electoral aspect. He pointed out that the emergency budget is for emergency events such as fires, floods and disasters, but what happened was additional spending for the Prime Minister's office in full view of all political blocs. Sand added, the financial expenditure for the emergency budget last year reached 150 billion dinars, while this year it did not exceed 50 billion dinars. He explained that the disbursement rate in the development fund was 1% in 2023, and the government punished the governorates that disbursed 30%. Member of the Fatah Alliance, Salam Hussein, confirmed today, Tuesday, that the rounds of dialogue with Washington regarding the withdrawal of American forces have not yielded anything so far. Hussein said in a statement to Al-Maluma agency, the Iraqi reality rejects the American presence, whether military or as advisors, noting that negotiations to schedule the exit of American forces do not need all this time.